The person we're going to be talking about is Boudica.
Or Boudica. Or Boudica. Or Boudica. Or Boudica. Or Bud Duck. Or any of those names.
But yes, Boudica. Before we start, we need to give a bit of background information. We're going to use memes. This is the definition that we are using to explain what memes are. It's pretty self-explanatory. Have you read it?
Yeah.
Okay. To help, we've made a meme indicator so that you know when to laugh. It looks like that.
So, now to start. You're probably wondering, why Boudica? And so, we shall tell you. So, here are 5 reasons why we think Boudica should be on the Z list, dead list. She was tough.
Hey.
Nobody knows if she's real or not. But don't tell Izzy. Okay then. She was a legend, which is youth speak for someone who is the definition of greatness and deserves respect. She defied the gender norms of her time, being the queen of the Icenies, and she's a redhead.
A brief timeline of Boudica's life is that she was born in AD. Well, nobody knows when she was born, but I think it might be between AD 26 and 30. In AD 60, she led the Iceni in a revolt against the Romans, and then died in AD 60. It might have something to do with the revolt. In fact, Tacitus, a Roman historian, said that she poisoned herself to avoid capture by the Romans after her revolt failed. And another source, Cassius Dio, said that she died of an illness and had a grand burial. Another thing that Cassius Dio did was described a woman who people think is a description of Boudica. He wrote, "She was very tall and severe. Her gaze was penetrating and her voice was harsh. She grew long red hair that fell to her hips and wore a large golden torque and a vast patterned cloak with a thick plaid fastened over it."
And so with this information, this is what Boudica looked like.
Another thing that Boudica did was during the revolt. Another thing Boudica did during the revolt against the Romans was she burned Colchester to the ground. A lot of parallels have been drawn between the fire that was in Colchester and the Great Fire of London, so they decided to call it the Great Fire of Colchester. I'm sure you can tell why. The main difference between the two, though, is that clearly this fire was started on purpose. And you can still see evidence of the destruction today. This is known as the Boudican destruction layer.
It is thought that Boudica is buried somewhere in between platforms 9 and 10. And I know what your Harry Potter fans are thinking. That's probably why it's so hard to find her. So now skipping forwards a few thousand years or so to the time of Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria tried to claim Boudica as a Christian ruler to legitimize her reign. And doing this, Prince Albert declared this statue to her, which you can find at the Victorian of the Victoria Embankment in London. So, as a recap, this is why we think she should be a part of the Z-list dead list. She was tough. She defined gender norms. She burned down Colchester. And she might be a wizard.
And even if she doesn't make it onto the Z list, she's not leaving empty-handed because she still has a statue dedicated to her in London. So that was Boudica in a nutshell. Thank you and good night.